Okay, so yesterday I showed you Mikelin's Startup Control Manager that manipulates the registry to take programs out and alter the startup programs that start when users or your machine starts up by default. I'm just going to talk about the registry a little. The registry is really powerful. It's also a very dangerous place because if you change the wrong settings in there you can really mess your machine up. The registry is like it's the Windows database. It stores file settings, program settings, settings about the computer, the device drivers. It also stores user-specific settings. It stores things like where what file the desktop background is, how fast the mouse should move, loads of different stuff in the registry. So there's lots of different things we can look at changing to modify and make better. How do you access the registry? Well, Microsoft have made it really easy for us and provided a tool called Regedit AutoPlay. If you just type that into the run command or into your Vista bar or Windows 7 bar, Windows 7.exe, press enter, you will be presented with a screen that looks just like this one. Right, okay. Now I'm going to talk about the Registry Editor a little bit here. Basically, the Registry Editor, it consists of two panes. In the one pane you have the different registry groups, so I'll talk about these in a moment, and across on the other side here you have the values represented by various different data types. You have hex, ASCII, numeric, Boolean, and we can add and change these depending on what they are and depending on whether we know what they do. Right, okay, if you want to back up your registry you can export the registry by clicking on export, which is a really good idea. If you've never touched the registry before, I highly recommend you do this before we do any hacks, mods or changes, just on the basis that if you do wreck your machine it's not my fault. Okay, next. The registry is divided into 5 different sections. Root classes, which contain values about file associations file associations and what applications to open different things with, and you get the general gist. That's basically the same. Okay, HKey current user, that stores information about the user that's currently logged into the machine, so any of their relevant settings are stored in that area of the registry. HKey local machine, these contain machine specific settings, so this settings contained in here are probably more specific to the hardware, i.e. device drivers and motherboard components and possibly voltage settings. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, certain things that relate to the computer. HKey users, pretty self-explanatory. This contains all the settings for various different users on the system when they're not loaded into HKey current user. Right, HKey current config. HKey current config. Now let me just do a little check. HKey current config. Yes, this is the funny one. This one's loaded at boot. This is loaded from a separate part of the registry as per boot, so individual boot settings are contained within current config. And next, right, yesterday we looked at the Mikelin's Startup Manager. Now actually what his software is doing is manipulating values in the registry. If you want to have a look at where these registry values are stored, you can go to HKey, we'll go HKey current user, software, scroll down, find where it says Microsoft, and you'll notice there's lots of different names of different applications in there, which means there's probably settings for those various applications stored in the registry. Now what they are, you'll have to go and have a look and play about with. This is where hacking, you know, finding your own, like reading other people's hacks is cool, but if you can find your own hacks out, that's even better. And if you do, I'd love to hear them. And you can email me, we'll put the email address up at the end of the show. Okay, so anyway, we're scrolling through and I found Microsoft, and the next one to find is Windows, and current version, and run. Now this contains, if we're in the user settings, the programs that are executed specific to that user when they log on. So you've got run once, which are programs that are executed once when Windows loads and then not executed again. So they're probably removed when the computer has executed them. And then you have programs under run, which are programs that boot every time you load the machine. And you know, maybe Mike-Lin's might not show you some values, or there might be sub-folders that you wouldn't get in Mike-Lin's startup manager that you would see in here. So if I go to HKey local machine, this would be the same. Current user, current machine, software, Microsoft. Scroll down, and we're going to find Windows again. I'm looking, where am I looking? Windows. Okay, so you know where the start programs are, where the startup programs and everything are kept within the registry now. I'll put those up on the screen, you should be able to see those. Next, we'll talk about Windows services later. They're a little bit different to your startup applications. Okay, now for demonstration hack, I'm just going to show you a really cool security hack. I'm just setting the screen capture to run now. Okay, so we're capturing. Basically, if I just do this and show you, so I'm going to eject my DVD and put my DVD back in, and you will notice that my computer at the moment is running with all the autoplay settings on, because I'm showing you for demonstration purposes. So you can see it's loading the CD. Now what we're going to do is, I don't want it to load the CD. I'm going to go down here and type run Regedit, enter, and run Regedit. There we go. So we've got Regedit running now. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to HKey local machine, software, Microsoft, and Windows current version, policies, Explorer. And when you get to there, you're going to right click, create a new word, a new D word, and this D word is to be called, no drive type auto run, capitalizing the first letter of each word. And then we're going to modify this value, and at the moment it's 0, hexadecimal, and we want 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and capital F. Right, okay. And that's the value in the registry now. So what I'm going to do is restart my machine, come back to you and show you what value to the autoplay. I've rebooted the computer, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as I did before. Eject the DVD and put it back in. And this time, fingers crossed, it shouldn't load VLC, it shouldn't load anything, it should just go, oh, well, right, and that D word, the 60FF hex code, right, basically is with the Windows code for no auto run on any device. That goes for USB sticks, DVDs, CDs, RAM drives, anything you can imagine that's auto-playable. That one D word will stop it. So if you want to protect your machine and like crapware, all the shit that comes on CDs that tries to boot up straight away, yeah, just do that, no issue. Okay, so maybe you might have to go and execute the file that you want to run, but that's how it used to be anyway. Better. And for any comment, if you've got, if you guys have got any comments, suggestions, if you think I'm talking a load of waffle, I'd love to hear in your comments ideas and suggestions on how to make the show better, what subjects to cover, and if you like what I'm doing. Cool. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, get hacking.